Let me ask you a serious question. Why do some people earn more but stay broke while others quietly build wealth and never seem stressed about money? The difference is not income. It's how they treat every single dollar. Rich people are not just good at making money. They are experts at not wasting it. Today, I'm going to share 7 things rich people never waste money on. These are habits that quietly separate the wealthy from everyone else. If you avoid just a few of these mistakes, your financial future will change dramatically. Most people think rich people love expensive things. In reality, wealthy individuals are very cautious about what they spend on status items that lose value. A luxury car, the latest smartphone, designer clothes, or a flashy watch might look impressive, but the moment you buy them, their value starts dropping. Rich people understand this simple truth: if something goes down in value over time, it is not helping you build wealth. They don't chase validation through purchases. Instead of asking, "Will people be impressed?" they ask, "Will this help my net worth grow?" That mindset changes everything. A wealthy person may drive a normal car, live in a modest house, and wear simple clothes, not because they can't afford better, but because they prefer to put their money into assets that grow. Stocks, real estate, businesses, and education all have the potential to increase in value or produce income. A luxury car never will. This doesn't mean rich people never enjoy nice things. They do, but only after their financial foundation is strong. They buy status items from surplus money, not from money that should be invested. Many people do the opposite. They spend first to look rich, and then struggle to actually become rich. Wealthy individuals delay gratification. They understand that looking rich and being rich are completely different. Another reason they avoid wasting money on depreciating items is control. Every dollar tied up in something that loses value is a dollar that cannot work for you. When you invest, your money works while you sleep. When you buy status items, your money stops working and starts shrinking. Rich people are obsessed with leverage and growth, so they naturally minimize anything that drags their wealth down. In simple terms, they treat flashy purchases as a cost, not a reward. The real reward for them is freedom, security, and options. That is why they quietly choose assets over appearances, and that quiet choice is one of the biggest reasons they stay rich. When most people start earning more money, the first thing they do is upgrade their lifestyle. Bigger house, better car, frequent dining out, expensive vacations, premium subscriptions, and luxury brands become the new normal. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it is one of the biggest silent wealth killers. Rich people understand this trap deeply, so they avoid it with discipline. Wealthy individuals don't automatically increase their spending just because their income increases. Instead, they treat raises, bonuses, and business profits as opportunities to accelerate wealth building. They keep their core lifestyle stable and channel the extra money into investments, savings, and business growth. This creates a powerful gap between what they earn and what they spend, and that gap is where wealth is built. Most people live on the edge of their income. If they earn 4,000, they spend 100,000. If they earn 10,000, they spend 10,000. Their lifestyle expands to match their income, so they never feel rich no matter how much they earn. Rich people do the opposite. They deliberately keep their expenses below their income, sometimes far below, even when they could afford much more. This discipline gives them control, peace of mind, and massive financial momentum. They also understand that lifestyle inflation is hard to reverse. Once you get used to a certain standard of living, it becomes emotionally painful to downgrade. That is why they are careful before upgrading anything. Every new recurring expense is evaluated like a long-term commitment. They think in decades, not months. By resisting lifestyle inflation, wealthy people buy themselves time, freedom, and flexibility. They can survive market crashes, business downturns, or unexpected crises without panic. They can take risks, start new ventures, and walk away from bad situations because they are not trapped by high fixed expenses. In simple terms, rich people don't let their lifestyle control them. They control their lifestyle. And that single habit, quietly practiced over years, creates a massive difference between someone who looks rich for a few years and someone who stays rich for a lifetime. High-interest debt is one of the fastest ways to destroy wealth, and rich people understand this better than anyone. They see debt as a tool, not a lifestyle. While many people use credit cards and personal loans to fund shopping, dining, and vacations, Wealthy individuals avoid using borrowed money for anything that does not grow their net worth. High-interest debt works against you every single day. When you carry a balance on a credit card or take a personal loan, interest keeps adding up, quietly draining your future income. Rich people know that compound interest can make you rich when you are investing, but it can make you poor when you are borrowing. That is why they are extremely cautious with debt that charges high rates. Most wealthy people use debt strategically. They are willing to borrow for assets that produce income or increase in value, like real estate or businesses. In those cases, the asset itself can help pay off the debt. But they rarely, if ever, borrow money to buy things that lose value, like gadgets, clothes, or luxury experiences. They refuse to pay extra for something that will not make them more money. Another key reason they avoid high-interest debt is psychological freedom. Debt creates pressure, stress, and limited choices. When a big part of your income is already committed to interest payments, you have less flexibility. You cannot invest as aggressively, take smart risks, or handle emergencies comfortably. Rich people value optionality, and high-interest debt destroys that. They also understand that debt can create a false sense of wealth. Credit makes it easy to live a lifestyle you have not earned yet. But behind the scenes, your financial position is getting weaker. Wealthy individuals prefer slow, real progress over fast, fake progress. They would rather wait and pay in cash than rush and pay with interest. In simple terms, rich people respect debt and fear the wrong kind of it. They know that every dollar of high-interest debt is a guaranteed negative return. So they eliminate it, avoid it, and structure their finances so their money works for them, not against them. Rich people are ruthless about cutting expenses that do not add real value to their lives. They understand that every dollar should either improve their health, increase their skills, save time, or grow their wealth. If something does not do at least one of those things, they question why they are paying for it. Many people leak money through small, unnoticed expenses. Subscriptions they rarely use, apps they forgot to cancel, memberships they barely attend, habits that provide short-term pleasure but no long-term benefit. Individually, these costs feel harmless. But over years, they quietly add up to thousands or even millions in lost wealth. Wealthy individuals pay attention to these leaks. They review their expenses regularly and cut anything that does not serve a clear purpose. They also think in terms of opportunity cost. When they spend money on something with no return, they think about what that money could have become if it were invested. A few $100s wasted every month could be a growing investment portfolio, a business opportunity, or financial security. That perspective makes waste emotionally uncomfortable for them. Another key point is focus. Rich people simplify their financial lives. Too many unnecessary expenses create mental clutter. By keeping only what matters, they free up attention for high-impact decisions. Their spending is aligned with their goals, not with habits or social pressure. This does not mean they live like minimalists by force or never enjoy life. They do spend on experiences, comfort, and convenience. But they are intentional. They pay for things that save time, improve performance, or increase well-being. Everything else is questioned. They also understand that money is a form of stored energy. When you waste it on things that do not improve your future, you are burning energy that could have worked for you. That mindset turns spending into a strategic decision, not an emotional one. In simple terms, rich people treat money like a tool with a mission. If a purchase does not move them forward in some way, they remove it. This habit alone can create a massive gap between someone who earns well but stays stuck and someone who steadily builds lasting wealth. Rich people rarely buy things on impulse. They understand that emotions are one of the most expensive forces in finance. Excitement, boredom, stress, and social pressure can push people to spend money on things they never planned to buy. Wealthy individuals slow down before every major purchase and create distance between the feeling and the decision. Impulse purchases feel small in the moment, but they are often part of a pattern. A quick online order, a spontaneous upgrade, an unplanned trip, or a sudden luxury item can quietly pull money away from long-term goals. Rich people know that the brain is wired to seek instant gratification, so they build systems to protect themselves from that instinct. They wait, research, compare, and think about whether the purchase aligns with their financial strategy. They also understand that impulse spending often comes with hidden costs. A new gadget might require accessories, maintenance, and upgrades. A bigger house means higher taxes, utilities, and repairs. A spontaneous lifestyle upgrade can lock you into recurring expenses that are hard to undo. Wealthy individuals think beyond the price tag and consider the long-term financial commitment. Another reason they avoid impulse purchases is clarity. When you plan your spending, you control your future. When you spend impulsively, your future is controlled by your past emotions. Rich people want their money decisions to reflect their goals, not their moods. They often use rules like waiting 24 hours or 30 days before buying something expensive, not because they are indecisive, but because they are disciplined. They also prioritize delayed gratification. They are comfortable waiting months or years for something if it means their investments can grow faster. To them, saying no today is a way of saying yes to freedom tomorrow. That mental shift is powerful. In simple terms, rich people do not let momentary feelings dictate lifelong financial outcomes. They treat every major purchase as a strategic move, not a reaction. By mastering their impulses, they quietly build control, confidence, and compounding wealth over time. Rich people are extremely careful about where they invest their money. They do not chase trends, rumors, or promises of quick profits. If they do not understand how an investment works, how it makes money, and what the risks are, they simply stay away. This discipline protects them from many of the financial disasters that destroy ordinary investors. Many people get attracted to hype. A friend mentions a hot stock, social media promotes a new crypto coin, or a guru promises guaranteed returns. The fear of missing out pushes people to invest without proper knowledge. Wealthy individuals recognize that most hype is designed to transfer money from the uninformed to the informed. They would rather miss an opportunity than lose capital. They spend time learning before investing. They study financial statements, business models, market cycles, and risk management. Even when they use advisors, they still want to understand the basics. Knowledge gives them confidence and control. Ignorance makes them dependent and vulnerable. Another reason they avoid poor investments is capital preservation. Rich people know that losing money is harder to recover from than missing gains. A big loss can set you back years. So they prioritize protecting their principal. They diversify, analyze downside risk, and avoid anything that sounds too good to be true. They also separate speculation from investing. Investing is about long-term ownership of productive assets. Speculation is about short-term price movements. Wealthy individuals may speculate with a small portion of their money, but their core wealth is built through disciplined, long-term investments they understand deeply. They understand that complexity is often used to hide risk. If an investment cannot be explained clearly, it is probably not worth it. Simplicity, transparency, and proven track records matter more than excitement. In simple terms, rich people respect money too much to gamble blindly. They invest with knowledge, patience, and strategy. By refusing to put money into things they do not understand, they avoid massive losses and allow their wealth to grow steadily and sustainably. Rich people do not see health and education as optional expenses. They see them as core assets that directly affect their ability to earn, think, and perform at a high level. While many people try to save money by ignoring doctor visits, skipping exercise, or avoiding learning, wealthy individuals understand that this is one of the most expensive mistakes you can make. Your health is the engine that drives your income. If your energy is low, your focus is weak, or your body breaks down, your earning potential drops. Medical problems can also create massive unexpected costs that wipe out years of savings. Rich people invest in preventive care, quality food, fitness, and mental well-being because staying healthy is cheaper than getting sick. They know that money means nothing if you do not have the strength and clarity to enjoy it. Education is treated the same way. Wealthy individuals are lifelong learners. They constantly upgrade their skills, expand their knowledge, and stay informed about markets, technology, and opportunities. They buy books, courses, mentorship, and experiences that sharpen their thinking. To them, learning is not a cost. It is one of the highest return investments they can make. They also understand that knowledge compounds. A skill learned today can generate income for decades. A better understanding of finance, psychology, or business can improve every decision they make. That is why they never stop learning, even after they become financially successful. Ignoring health and education creates hidden poverty. You might have money in the bank, but without health, you lack freedom. Without knowledge, you lack leverage. Rich people aim for both. They want to be physically strong, mentally sharp, and financially secure at the same time. They also lead by example. Their habits influence their families and teams. A wealthy person who prioritizes health and learning builds a culture of growth around them, which multiplies their success beyond just money. In simple terms, rich people invest in themselves first. They know that their body and mind are the ultimate wealth-generating assets. By protecting and upgrading these assets, they ensure they can create, grow, and enjoy wealth for a lifetime. As we wrap up, I want you to understand something very clearly. Wealth is not built by one big decision. It is built by thousands of small decisions repeated every day. The habits we discussed are not secrets reserved for billionaires. They are principles available to anyone who is willing to think differently about money. Rich people do not win because they earn more in the beginning. They win because they waste less, think long-term, and make their money work for them instead of against them. They avoid spending on things that drain their future. They control their lifestyle, their debt, their impulses, and their investments. Most importantly, they invest in their health and knowledge because they understand that money is useless without the ability to create and enjoy it. You do not need to be perfect to apply these ideas. You just need to be intentional. Every dollar you choose not to waste is a dollar that can grow. Every habit you change today compounds into a stronger financial position tomorrow. Wealth is not a finish line. It is a system, and systems are built step by step. If you take just one principle from this speech and apply it consistently, your financial trajectory will shift. If you take all 7 seriously, you will think, act, and spend like the wealthy long before your bank account shows it. And that is the real turning point. You become rich in behavior first and rich in money later. Remember, money is a tool, not a trophy. The goal is not to impress people. The goal is to buy freedom, security, and peace of mind. Rich people understand this deeply, and that is why they treat every financial decision with respect and strategy. So the next time you are about to spend, pause and ask yourself, is this building my future or stealing from it? That single question, repeated over years, can be the difference between financial stress and financial independence. Your financial future is not decided by your salary, your background, or your age. It is decided by the choices you make from today onward. Start making the choices rich people make, and over time your results will follow.